Hello, hello. We are back. Season 9. I can hear the echo. Midwest F1 League. We will see how things turn out. You can see on your screen there is the updated drivers for... Is that better now? Okay. The updated drivers for Division 1 and those who have moved up. Excuse me. And those who remain. Everyone in the green for you there is those that got to get the update to Division 1. Gunner and T-Brum representing Alfa Romeo. Newly formed team there. VTech newly promoted alongside Houdini. And the AlphaTauri, Hoxid, and Aero Racing. Couple of guys who've been around for a bit now. Dace and Shelley hold things down for Aston. Scornsey and Matt Rosie opting for Ferrari this time. Houdini and Dusty Lusky in the Haas. Race Day and Got Palmer venture over to McLaren. Scavney and Cake Thomas now with Red Bull. Impossible Bacon and Edwin in the Mercs. That'll be a good team there. And Lancy and Sharia in the Williams. So, I mean, the obvious favorite right now is Ferrari for constructors as well as Scornsey for drivers, but we'll see how things play out through this season. Will Edwin find consistency and be able to contend just as much as he was last season, but maybe actually get on the top step of the podium this season as well? Will Scavney maybe have a bounce back season? Cake is always consistent, so we got to keep an eye on that Red Bull. And Race Day as well, finishing third in the Drivers' Championship last season, trying to make things work once again. We've got a little bit of time, as I have planned here, to go through the past results of all the divisions. And so we will take... before we get someone coming around with the hot lap. Whoa. Okay, now I can hear my echo again. Yeah, there you go. Division 3. Don't let the red highlighter fool you there. The greens are the ones that have gone up. Alpine locking it in Division 3. Division 4. We've got a couple more seconds to get through this before we got Dusty Lusky. First one around track for Division 1, Season 9. Baba Yaga, Call Me Maybe, Ali X Tono. Oh no, it's Maxo. All with promotions there with Baba Yaga bringing the win. There is the Williams as well. But we are around turn 1 here, on board with Dusty Lusky finishing up turn 2 as well. And he'll take us around the track for the very first time here in Division 1. Season 9, that is. Okay. Looking fairly clean. Fairly clean. Let's get that up. My hair looks like death right now, but that's okay. As we venture on, don't even have the proper track set up. Oh my god, Jetta. Sorry, it's tough. As you can tell, there's no co-caster this evening, or potentially throughout the rest of the season. So, well, we'll have a little bit of some people stop by here or there. Let's get on board with someone who's, or I can follow him for a full lap. Sorry about that, Dusty. I was not prepared. A lot to do, a lot on my hands. And I forgot my freaking glass of water. There we go. Cake Thomas is going to take us around for the... There's plenty of drivers up ahead of him there, but I think he's the 16th to start his hot lap here. So we'll ride on board. We're kind of keep an eye on everyone else as they come through. But Cake Thomas working his way through Sector 1 here. Dusty, a 28.597. That should be knocked pretty quick. But we got on board with Cake this moment still as we finish up the dozen of turns through Sector 1. That's not a lie. 1 dozen turns gets you through Sector 1. As we have more times popping through here, Matt Rosie closest to Dusty's so far. Hawksid third. Cake swooping around the hairpin, now working his way through the other dozen turns. T-Brum going quickest so far, low 128. And we're going to have Scornsy, I imagine, coming over fairly soon here. Yeah, he's just finishing up the final turn. But we're on board with Cake, supposedly getting a purple Sector 2. That may just be a PR, or PB, personal best. And he hits the DRS zone, and it will gain a little bit of extra kilometers an hour. Is this cross-plat? No, not yet. I think we're doing tests to make sure that it's good enough, but we're still running only on PS5. Cake Thomas now will finally come over the line into 9th place. T-Brum leading the way. Scornsy with the disappointing 7th so far, being outdone by his teammate there as well. Let's see, I believe it's Houdini. No, that's a lie. Race day? Race day is a little bit farther up the road. But I think it's actually race day it is. So we'll stay on board with race day, and we'll jump back on board with Nikki and Lancey as they finish up with race day getting around VTEC and getting around the final corner quite nicely. Yellow flags all over the place as that timing screen, or that screen there is letting everyone know what's happening on the track. And it's race day with our timing sheet letting us know what's happening there in 4th so far. Coming around the final turn is Nikki. And we'll see where Nikki can go. He wants to try and get about a midfield start. No, this is console only, yes. And doing about so right now. Still 4 drivers left to go there. So we'll have to see if Nikki can improve as the session continues and maybe the track gets a little bit quicker. A couple of drivers coming around for their outlap, that being Arrow and Sharia. Or Sharia. I don't know. My hair looks like it's just one piece right now. I promise you I have more hair follicles than just the one. You sure I recall correctly? That isn't. Wow. Ryan Rod's already throwing shade in chat. Yes, it seems like he's been bested in 3 separate occasions. At least in the Midwest F1 League. See, I promise you, there's hair there. It's not just this glistening brown muck on top of my head. There we go. Sharia and then Arrow. Arrow is a man who can throw up a podium every now and then. If you can find that consistency, maybe a top 5 in the Drivers' Championship would be in his future grasp. We'll have to see. Consistency in this league is the biggest word. Biggest. Who is your man? And of course, I'm sure my man is the best. Ryan Rods is his man. It's him, himself, and I. I'm, of course, speaking in Ryan Rod's third person there, not me. I'm team everyone. I'm the caster. I must be absolutely neutral. Even though sometimes it makes it quite difficult. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of good racing and a fan. My man is Edwin. Oh, okay, fair enough, yeah. That's true. Yes, but I'm a fan of good racing, a fan of competition, and a fan of being entertained. And I find that all here in the Midwest F1 League. And if you are a fan of any of those 3 things, then you've come to the right area, especially if you're a fan of F1. If you're a fan of good games, you've come to the wrong place. But I suggest you still hang around. Yellow's in Sector 1 and 2. It looks like there's a Red Bull slowing up, allowing other drivers by. We have Sharia over the line in 13th place. Aero Racing is next, or is that Lancy? No, that is Aero Racing. And then Houdini will finally get our last bit of cars over the line with a time, but actually Aero Racing decides, no, I'm coming into the pit, and drifts his way and smacks a little bit of the wall. Should be okay, though. Is that Edwin coming over with another time? No, he's coming for a hot lap at this point here. And Lancy's time disappeared. Or was never available. But that's okay, because we got Houdini who's going to give us a time here, and Houdini is going to put himself up into 9th place in his first full-time venture here in Division 1. Got Palmer is invalid, but he is on a hot, or an out. As is Matt Rosie, as I imagine is Dusty Lusky, as I imagine is T. Brum, who currently leads the session, as, guess what, I imagine is Scornsy, no, Matt Rosie. Yes. Who's the next over the line here? Cake, out, Sharia. Is he going for it again? No, I don't think so. No, he's nearly out of fuel. That's not Lanzy, that's his teammate of Hoxid. Hoxid is on a flyer here, coming around the final turn. Wish we could have got a little bit more of that, but there's so many people. Crash Shop the ASMR. It's an F1 race, not shopping carts going around the mall. Hey, whatever gets us viewers. Hoxid going quickest. Well done to you, Hoxid. Nikki, out. Bacon, out. Edwin, hot. Very hot. Coming over with a 127.657. And there we go. Cake Thomas, no. Teammate Scavney. Scavney over in 12th, just behind his teammate. Shelley, solo, Aston into the pit. Got Palmer on his hot. Is it hot, or does he want this to be out? It is a little bit hot. Low 128s. Houdini in. Scornsy. Matt, yes. Matt over, and as well on a hot 127.958. Currently sitting his car in second place. In to the pit is Lusky around the final corner. Finishing up his hot lap here. Scornsy keeping it nice and tight. Over the line in 6th. Not quite shaving off the time we were expecting there. Invalid is Palmer. Race day on his hot lap currently starting now. 2 drivers into the pit. We have a AlphaTauri and Nicky. And an Alpine in behind. I don't think he's on a hot lap. And Nicky is 9th. And then Bacon going 6th. That's a good starting position for him there. Scavney will be into the pit. Scott Palmer is invalid. I think we have a bunch of people into the pit here. Race day T-Brum. I think the next one to start here is Sharia. Had to stop sometime. No, you don't. Who told you that bogus rule? So T-Brum's rapid time at one point has been since knocked down quite a bit, and Edwin currently leads the session by 3/10, nearly exact. Thousandths of a second is the difference between that exact and non-exact. And Matt Rosie and co have quite the battle they need to climb to get up into that top step, as Edwin puts in a very quick time so far. Oh, we'll get nice. And on top of the halo, just behind the halo actually, of Sharia, in 15th currently stands, around the hairpin of turn 13, lucky turn 13. We have seen some alternate lines IRL, but I think the e-racing line is one that's fairly consistent. Sharia really pulling hard on the controller there, or the wheel that is, to get that car turned around. Maybe could have straightened it out a little bit more. And the quick left-right chicane that goes off into the rear view mirrors, swinging up to the DRS once again. Into the final braking zone, looking for a good exit here. We'll see if there's position improvement. Hugging it as close as he can, and he will go to 13th place. Houdini is on a hot Arrow once again into the pit. Running out of time is Arrow. He'll only have one good shot at it. I'm going to get my water. Okay. So Houdini himself, soon to be finishing up Sector 2. We'll take a look at his sector split, and he is off of his quickest time so far. He's hoping that he really bottled Sector 3, which would be tough because Sector 3 is just flat out. Maybe a very poor final turn as we swing through, and that will not help his situation. 11th is where he sits, and he's going to come into the pit, and he may not have another chance after that. Race day as well into the pit. Is that Nicky? It is Nicky. He's starting one. Bacon as well, starting Juan. Lancy is starting one for his only opportunity. You got quite more people on the start of 1-2. Got Palmer. Hoxton is finishing up his final go. Looks like he won't be able to get it, though. I think you will see him dive into the pit. Yeah, that'll be it for Hoxton's quali. Currently in 4th, hoping that can stand. T-Brum coming out for his attempt. Scornsey doing the same. Scornsey needs a nice improvement here. Arrow on and out. Cake. We are seeing a lot of drivers on hot laps from this point out. Keep on board with Scornsey through Sector 1. See if he can tidy up where a lot of his missed time is. Just finishing Sector 1 here. He is up on his time. Bacon cannot improve. Cake can into 9th. Shelley, invalid, will be able to go around for one more. Lancey does end up going 12th. Dusty, I think it is done. Yeah, Dusty is gone. Nothing more for Dusty there. Got Palmer is done as well. So he's not using any battery. Something must have occurred. T-Brum is invalid, so 6th is the best T-Brum can do. With Scornsey here did not catch the Sector 2 split. We will not know until he crosses the line. Around the final turn, hammer down, up over the finish line into 6th. I didn't see, was that Arrow ends up going 9th. Scornsey's teammate, Matt Rosie, he is well off of his time. That'll be it for him. Scavney is invalid, so 17th will be the best that he can do. Nicky is done as well, I believe. Yeah, Nicky's gone. Shelley was just able to creep over the line to start his final attempt, and he's going to stick this one out. Rides very close to the wall and goes into 14th place. And that is it for qualifying. Yeah, it is. That is done. First quali session of Season 9 is in the books. Edwin takes pole. Matt Rosie 2nd. Palmer 3rd. Hoxton 4th. Race day 5th. And we'll go through the rest soon enough. Oh, Nicky, he's back. 21 months. Nearly 2 years. Wow. Nearly 2 years. That's crazy. Slowly but surely, we gain. Very slowly. But okay, as was promised, the final qualifying results with Edwin taking pole, Matt Rosie 2nd, Palmer 3rd, Hoxton 4th, Race Day 5th, Scornsey 6th, Impossible Bacon with a nice little 8th, but before then is T-Brum in 7th, Aero Racing Design and Cake Thomas, the 5th row here, Dusty Lusky and Nicky with Lancey and Shelley the Turtle in behind. Houdini with Sharia, Scavney and VTech, and Gunner is all alone at the back of the pack. But that's okay. If we've seen anything, especially in recent history, being at the back of the pack isn't the worst thing. Overtakes can be done if you have a quicker car. And that was proven with Max Verstappen and his rocket ship. Just weaving his way through everyone. Red Bull is, there's, F1 has a serious problem right now, and that is just the cars. It's Red Bull and then the best of the rest right now, like it was for the Mercs. It was just the Mercs and the best of the rest for quite some time. I mean, there was some competition, but for a couple of years there, it was like Ham bought Ver. You just knew you're going to get virtually every week. And it was boring. Not boring, but I mean, for the title for the championship, it was boring. And then all the other cars are just competing for, I mean, at this point, because it's Red Bull, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Mercedes. So it's virtually like the top 8 is already just chalked. And then the rest of everyone else is just trying to get 9th or 10th. They're just hoping, and if one of those cars, one of the top 8 is done, then 7th or 6th if 2 of them. But yeah, it'll be really tough for any of those top 8 to fall outside of the top 8. It's almost like it's a battle for the 3rd podium position. All right. Just a little reminder on how the teams are for this season once again. Gunnar and T-Brum, Alfa Romeos. A team entirely consistent of former Division 2 drivers. Other than that, the drivers coming up to Division 1 have been littered. I once again say littered around the rest of the teams. That only being 2, VTEC and Houdini in the AlphaTauri and the Haas. Almost realistic on the way that it's kind of turned out, with Division 2 drivers coming up to Division 1. One going to a Haas, one going to a Tori, and 2 of them going to the Romeo. Similar to what we saw with the Haas a couple seasons ago with Mazepin and Schumacher. But other than that, a lot of long-time Division 1 drivers throughout. And like I said before, early Constructors' Championship favorites are the Ferrari. But can the McLarens break the McLaren curse? Alfa Romeo did have a good run last season. Alfa Romeo tandem, that being a race day and got Palmer, did prove that consistency does in fact kill, and they were very consistent. Wound up in 3rd place. Now, big point haul of Ryan Rods in the Merc is gone. Edwin is going to try and hold it down with his new teammate, Impossible Bacon, taking the jump from Red Bull over to the Merc. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do what he can there and potentially get himself into a couple podium positions and gain a lot of points for that Mercedes team. But that can only be decided by having all the races done, and we are on number 1 in Saudi Arabia. Really getting his tires going is T-Brum there. A lot of these drivers are warming up as much as possible. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of grid penalties with drivers not lining up properly, i.e. Alonso and Ocon, but the game auto-corrects them, so it will not be happening. Taking a quick peek at the tires, everyone would be on the mediums and the hards, majority on the mediums. got Palmer deciding to go to the hards, even having the higher qualifying position. That'll be a tough go. We'll jump on board with him and see how good of a jump he can get, and not nearly as good as Matt Rosie. And Edwin is actually already under pressure there from Hoxton and his teammate in the McLaren in behind, with Scornsey swimming around the outside there, turning into the inside early on, getting race day. We have T-Brum already spun and chaos in the back, and a quick safety car, I imagine that'll be, as all these drivers are trying to just swing themselves the proper way. And with the road course, there is nowhere to go when carnage ensues, especially off of a start, and that's exactly what we saw there. We know that quite a few of these guys are going to need new wings and probably new tires at this point. Shelley and Cake getting involved in that, as well as the Alfa Romeo of Gunnar with his teammate in the back. Gunnar is out with full wing somehow. VTech also. Let's see any wing damage. Yeah, we do see some there to Scavney too, so he's going to have to come into the pit. And that's Nicky with no nose. Is that... Come a little closer there, Lansy. I can't tell if you have any wing damage, my guy. No, he's okay. Shreya is without the left end plate. I think that's Dusty Lusky without no wing entirely. So there's a lot of drivers that got caught up in that. Wow. That is super unlucky. So we're going to see them all dive into the pit here. Matt, Rosie, and Edwin were very close in battling each other there. Edwin was able to hold on by the time the safety car got called out. Hoxton did pick up a position. Palmer, as expected, lost one. Scornsey did get a very important overtake on race day. Impossible arrow jumping up. VTech gaining a bunch, with Gunnar as well also gaining a whack ton with all these drivers into the pit. And an unfortunate, unlucky double stack there from the Haas with the full wing change. And he's going to lose a couple of positions, is Houdini. But will actually come back out in the same position that he started in. But unfortunately, T-Brum losing 11 positions, which is just a big ouch on your Division 1 full-time debut. And all right, that was a fun, exciting start to Season 9. We'll see how that plays out with the rest of this race. The pit stop strategy comes out with the potential two-stopper, medium, hard. Don't think we're going to see that. Imagine it's going to be a lot of just medium hards or hard mediums. Softs will only come out at the end of the race for fastest lap. Edwin currently leading the way with 1 point for the qualifying time. Hardest charger is with VTech after 1 completed lap here in Season 9. We have plenty of those laps to go, so be sure to tune in. It is not always just carnage like this, although sometimes it may seem like that is what it is. We do have some proper racing. If you don't believe me, just stay tuned in. And hopefully these drivers prove me right. But anywho, how's everyone else's Thursday going? Is it a good one, bad one, slow one, cold one? Is it warm where you are? Raining? Looking out my door. Don't let that light deceive you. It is not sunny. That is all overcast. A bright overcast, supposedly. And one that Mike Wazowski is enjoying at the top of his cat tower. Sully is down beside me in his bed. Couple of snoozing cats today. There we go. Everyone is caught up now. We should get back going on lap 4. Everyone will get their chance once again to try and make the overtakes. But so cold and it's good Thursday. How is yours, Crash? Boring. Currently laid off right now, so there's not much to do. There's things to do on the suite, but with my sleep schedule being absolutely chalked, and the fact that my alarm didn't go off because my phone was dead and didn't turn back on when I plugged it in, waking up at 11:30 kind of kills your day entirely. But that won't be the case tomorrow. So tomorrow's always another day. You know what? It's just one day. One day, you know what? Just absolutely chalk it up. Do nothing. Rest to regain. And back forth tomorrow. Safety car is in. Jumping on board with 3-time champion Scornsy, representing the lovely Ferrari Red, this time here. Trying to get a run on Gott Palmer, and he's going to want to try and get the overtake toot sweet with Gott being on the hards, and that'll help out quite nicely as Gott unfortunately caught a little bit of a spin bug and loses a couple positions. I'm not sure if he lost any end plate. Seems to be all there. But now Scornsy's going to try and work on catching his teammate of Edwin up front, but has race day very close behind. We'll venture down to the back of the pack, and we'll see quite a few drivers very close to each other with a yellow flag of Houdini, and T-Brum looking around the outside here on Nicky, looking to try and get that to stick. The quicker tire compound will get it done, and we'll just jump right on board with the man too, as we see Red Bull on Red Bull carnage with the Williams in between, and the man is spun out, and quick reflexes there from T-Brum to be able to avoid that, and we'll let that battle be, as it looks like Hoxid is encroaching on VTech, who is currently in 6th. Hoxid wanting to try and gain back the positions that were ever so well earned through qualifying, but with that start, it all was gifted back. T-Brum up into 12th now, in behind his teammate with a little bit of breathing room to try and close. Matt Rosie trying to follow Edwin, as Edwin sets the fastest lap of this race, which should be taken down at some point, but stands early, with Edwin currently collecting nearly full points other than hardest charger. Of course, you cannot collect in all the points because you can't get the pole lap and as well as the hardest charger in one race, unless everyone just crashes. So I guess there is a possibility. But then you're not gaining any positions though. So how about cleaning your place and try and be productive? Yeah, I know, I will. I've got days to do that. I'll do it tomorrow. I spent like 12 hours fighting a dishwasher yesterday. Have you ever installed a dishwasher? And especially one that goes from an old copper line to a new flexible universal stainless steel line? Not fun. At least in the videos they show it's easy. But of course, in my situation, it was unbelievably hard. And I had to buy 9 different fittings to try and get the bloody thing to work. And of course, I didn't get the fitting right on one of the first 2 tries. No, it was the 9th try that I got the fitting correct. And do you know, it's not my fault, because there are so many different bloody fittings for pipes and everything. There are different threadings, different sizes. It is just the stupidest thing ever. And I don't understand how there's not just one universal size. But no, they have like 3. And they all fit differently, and they all thread differently. It is bloody annoying. So maybe it's not the most well-deserved absolutely nothing type of day. Oh, and a big clip there. VTech on Got Palmer's Gott's day gets a little bit worse. I mean, there is a world where you can just install a dishwasher in like 15 minutes, bang, boom, no problem. But there's also a world where it takes 12 hours and constant trips to Home Depot and Canadian Tire to find the bloody fitting that you need. And I live that world. Oh no, I can barely turn on a white guard. I can never, I think, as well deserve have a beer. Yeah. See, I'd like to. I stole some of my girlfriend's wine last night. Then proceeded to just be a degenerate and go to sleep at 2:30. But it is what it is. It's laid off life. I'll be productive. Here we go. Aero Racing Design. Closely on the heels to VTech after dumping Gott Palmer as he continues to lose positions. And Aero did take a peek for a moment there. And we can finally bring up the telemetry there. And we can see that Aero does have DRS and Gott Palmer's day. It goes from bad to worse. And a lovely camera angle shot. No, keep us on that camera angle. Aero Racing, though, does keep us entertained with a nice overtake there up into 7th place above VTech. VTech will get DRS here, so we'll jump on board. But if I know VTech, he's just going to chill, not even going to opt to use any sort of battery. T-Brum back into 9th. Ooh, very tight between the Alfa Romeo and the Haas, two former Division 2 drivers. Dusty having his second year in Division 1 now at this point, and does get overtaken there by T-Brum, who is quickly working his way back up the field. And not the start that a lot of these guys were hoping for here. Edwin slowly pulling away from Rosie there. Scornsey can't quite shake race day. And Bacon, what? Bacon, look at him go. He's in 5th place. Within a second, too, to race day. Finding a nice little groove on this slalom here. And needs to try and get that second back. And I don't think he will before the DRS detection. And he is just riding with the pace that Merc brings him. And you can see slowly race day does creep that lead up a little bit further. And we'll jump back on with T-Brum as he continues to try and work his way up through the field. You can see VTech very close in front of him, maybe looking to try and get it done before the final turn. VTech allows him the outside line. T-Brum says, I don't want it quite yet. I'd rather get the detection, DRS down the pit straight, and then breeze right past you, which is the way it's looking to go. But Matt Rosie has found a little bit of difficulties there in position 2. And now moves down to 3rd with his teammate now jumping up above Scornsey, 2.5 seconds back of Edwin as the Ferraris are in chase of the Merc leading the way, trying to show that he has what it takes for the Drivers' Championship. Of course, Edwin did win the opening race. Not last year, not last season. Was it the season before? It was the season before, yes. He won the opening race in France. Or it might have been the season before that. I don't know. I cannot remember. But he's trying to do the same thing here. Matt Rosie picking up his first penalty. Gunner overtaken by Nicky. Gunner not looking the pace this evening so far. Race day still within reach there of Matt Rosie, and we'll actually jump on board with that. And Nicky's gone. Nicky is out. We'll be on board with Houdini, and we can see him right into the wall there. Sharia as well. Will Shelley give us one more good look at the car with our first retirement in Season 9 Division 1. Going to one of the longest standing members of Division 1, and Aero Racing opts to stay out with the safety car coming in, and Matt Rosie is going to hurt a little bit from this double stack, and he's surely going to lose the position to race day. And as well to Bacon and to Hawksid. So just a big big ouch there from Matt Rosie. Unlucky. And a speeding under the safety car to Scornsey, picking up a drive-through. And that hurts quite a bit. Edwin has such a gap now between himself and race day. And the Ferraris were looking so very strong for a moment there. And it has since dissipated. Now with both of them being net outside the podium. Race day, Hoxton, Impossible Bacon are all battling for the second and third position. With Matt Rosie a second and a half back from the double stack, and as well with the penalty. T-Brum has continued on here, and he's looking to try and take the overall lead in this race on Arrow. And once again, opts to not do it down into turn 27. God, there's so many goddamn turns here. Crash put tire info. Sure, my guy. There you go. Are you using this for Edwin? Are you his crew chief? And T-Brum with the overall lead in the race. Scornsey taking his drive through. Needs quite a bit of things to happen with only 15 laps left for him to get self back close to the podium, really. Race day is chasing down Lancey. Lancey goes to defend the inside line. He's going to push Race Day all the way around the outside. Race Day, very brave, trying to hold it throughout, and a little bit of contact between there. Lancey is going to defend this thing to the bitter end and does a great job of not allowing it to just happen so easily there for Race Day. Now there is 8 laps into these hards, but that will not shut off. Too much space there for Lancey as he does catch a little bit of the wall. Still is able to hold on to the lead there, and here comes Hoxton. We jump right on board with him. And Race Day is actually going to concede the DRS down the final straight. Gets a pretty good run out of the turn. Lancey is going to try and come back at him here, using the battery, and takes a peek at the inside line. Cannot go get it there. Race Day did just enough with his exit to be able to hold on. Oh no, T-Brum. T-Brum spins out. Still somehow has his whole wing intact, and now he's back on Dusty Lusky, and he was like, man, you already overtook me. Can you just leave me alone? He is following him so very closely. Just hounding the poor guy. Does get DRS as well. But man, that is scary with DRS and following someone. The quick detection is done. And he will get another one here. Lancey now getting overtaken by Hawksid. Dusty conceding the position to T-Brum, just pulling off to the side. T-Brum is going to try and look to break away. Yellow flags there. I think it's Shelley finds a little bit of problems. Outstays T-Brum, so he's going to try and shave off all that time that he initially got at one point there. Edwin now getting aggressive on Lusky and will be able to squeeze through. T-Brum was some 7 seconds up the road at one point. It has all been given back. And now he's got Edwin on his tail. Scavney and Cake with race day in behind. I mean, the two Red Bulls could work to hold up the McLaren man, could bring implications later on into the season. And race day following closely, going to deploy a little bit of battery. He's going to get the wing open. How aggressive will he be for an overtake on Scavney? Scavney will continue to get DRS, and Edwin will overtake T-Brum. T-Brum will get it down the pit straight, so we'll keep an eye on this. Matt Rosie through Lancy, and Edwin looking unbeatable at this point here. With race day trying to edge out Scavney. Scavney looking to try and pinch him off. But race day getting very brave with a late break and a very late move going into the final turn there. Scavney was not trying to offer that up, but a sliver of a car length was available. Oh, T-Brum once again spinning. And once again not hurting his wings, and he gets split by the two Red Bulls, and his tires are on El Fuego, as some may say. So the journey for the Red Bulls leaves them in 10th and 13th, or sorry, the Ferraris leave them in 10th and 13th. Hoxton, crazy aggressive on these two Red Bulls here. It is just so very tough because you got to overtake one, then the second one. Edwin getting through on VTEC. Hoxton deploying the battery to try and get past Cake, and not enough there. Oh, Cake bottles it. And has to wait for a good time to get himself back on track. Scavney now just in behind Hoxton. With once again Race putting loads of pressure. Now onto Dusty. As we follow this slalom here. Yellow flags behind. That's Cake still struggling with the heat on those tires. Overtaken is Dusty. We'll have DRS in the battle back. And a penalty there to T-Brum. Is Dusty too far, and he's not even going to deploy the battery. Arrow and VTEC into the pit now to throw on the mediums to take them the rest of the way. Edwin vaulted into the lead. Dusty may try and send these to the rest of the race. That'd be quite something. Unless there's a late safety car. Currently the Mercs sitting 1 and 6. With Impossible doing the job that he has been tasked with. And T-Brum is retired into the pit, and that will bring end to his first venture in the Division 1 full-time seat. Those guys are slow. Tell them to go multi 21 like Seb. I will pass it on if I can. They may not listen to me, though. Not a lot of these guys tend to listen to me. And Hawks is so close to Dusty for a moment there. Will end up getting the overtake up into 4th place. Goes Dusty. Or sorry, goes Hawksid. Blah, blah, blah. Wrong drivers. Or wrong driver. Now Hawksid will get 3rd place. Now it is almost decision time for Dusty. How long is he going to ride these hards out, especially with Scavney in behind? And same thing goes to Scavney. How long is he going to ride these mediums? They cannot go the rest of the way. Maybe he was hoping for another safety car. And he'll have Bacon to deal with, who has plenty of tires left. Aero Racing, since coming out of the pit, has got himself a nice fresh set of mediums that have a lot of pace to them, and pace that Matt Rosie can't quite handle at this point. And Matt Rosie's actually just going to concede the position. He doesn't even want to try and duke it out with Aero, knowing how the advantage that Aero has. Does get DRS, so he's going to try and just piggyback off of that for a while, I imagine so. Scornsey really only has 9th place that is achievable. Well, no, Scavney is going to come into the pit. Potentially Dusty as well, so maybe a 7th place, maybe a 5th place for Rosie as well for the Ferrari, just to try and get back as much as they can. Scavney will get the overtake up a position with the pit of Dusty, and we'll see where he comes out. But isn't Bacon and Scavney now battling it out? But Scavney's on an absolute crossroads here. How long does he ride these mediums? And when does he pit? Because he is not going to be able to get the rest of the way with this. Ryan, are you still in chat? What do you think Scavney should do here? Mother Ellie, what do you think Scavney should do here? As well as anyone else. What do you all think Scavney should do? Because Aero is just on a mission. And he's looking to overtake Scavney even before the DRS opens. Yeah, no, I agree. Ah, Dace, I hear your cat murdered your monitor. And Scavney just opts to come in at this point. So that promotes Rosie, Lancey, and Scornsey. And Aero and Bacon, they're going at it. Scavney goes for the softs. The first time we've seen him. Will Gott Palmer do the same? Yellow in sector 2, and I think that's just Shelley pulling off out of the way as he gets lapped, and it was not the day. No, I like my monitors working. Yes, you did. Anyone want a new cat? No, my cat has already destroyed one of my monitors, so I know. Trust me, don't let them. You need to get a mount. need to get a mount. Because after I got the mount, there's a couple times as well where I came back and my monitor was like facing down, but because the mount saved it from smacking against the desk, so I lost my monitor because my cat tried to jump it and punched it down and then broke. But since then, they've still tried to jump the bloody monitor, and they have knocked it, but the mount saves it. So spend the money and get the mount if you don't want to go get a new monitor every month. It's worth. There's a couple different ones you can get. You can get ones that you can mount to the wall. Like, you can't really see, but I've got like an entertainment unit over there. And my good monitor mounts to the entertainment unit. And then my other monitor just mounts straight to the desk. So I just have two separate mounts. My fault for not mounting to the wall sooner. Of course, my warranty won't fix it, so checked. Oh, you sent in a picture? Ooh, yeah, that's good. That is good. Ouch. Yeah. It's a tough lesson to learn. An expensive one. Edwin with the penalty. So race day with the hope. Not sure if he's sitting with any as well. Rosie now trying to catch Bacon, but a terrible exit there on the final turn. Not sure what happened there. Ooh, and Lusky. Brand new Samsung Odyssey. That is rough. I don't know how it broke. So it looks like it was knocked over. I don't have a cat. Who's mentioned anything about a cat? No, I didn't. Yeah, see if they'll trade. Message Samsung. I'll trade you a broken monitor for a working one. It's just ridiculous, though. I mean, they are so bloody rich. Like, you can't just spare, like, a monitor. Like, it'd be like if you just send in the broken one and they can just match the serial numbers and then you're like, yeah, okay, this was yours and this is broken. Yeah, okay, we'll send you a new one. That'd be nice. In a perfect world, though. But okay, hardest charger currently with surprise VTech. That was the centerpiece for everyone's bingo card. So we'll see how things go. We should maybe, if we had a better viewership, we could totally do Midwest bingo. we go. Matt on the chase to Bacon, but of course he needs to get the overtake. And then as well, gain all that time for the penalty. And we'll take a quick peek at the penalties. 3-seconders handed out. And right now, the closest battle on track. Oh, actually, my GF confirms that is covered under Verizon insurance. Oh. Matt Rosie actually not trying to get too aggressive there. What do we got? So VTech is the closest. Lancey is into the pit. 20 low on lap old hards. I guess they just couldn't go. Race day slowly chipping away at Edwin's lead, but he needs a big mistake from Edwin here. So Scorenzy has caught his teammate, and they are in the midst of lapping Sharia. And 5-second penalty to Sharia for ignoring blue flag. That won't really do much. And Matt with another penalty, and that will drop him behind VTech now. And an unneeded one as well, because his teammate isn't really putting the pressure on him, knowing that he's going to get the position in the end. Bacon currently holding down 5th. Could potentially come under stress as the Ferraris are in DRS now. And now Lancey picking up a penalty too, and that will bring Gunner up above him, but Lancey should be able to clear that time, so it won't hurt him much in the end. We're on to the fastest lap here, though. Edwin still just sitting with 3 seconds in time penalties. 3 seconds worth of time penalties. Scorenzy now vaulted up, and his attempt to try and chase down Bacon on the final lap. And he won't really have much of the final DRS to help him at all. Dusty above Scavney for 9th. The Ferraris have fought back hard from their tough times there, and will follow Scornsey on his chase to try and claim 5th place, which could come huge in the end of the season, as these two teams should be 1-2 in the Constructors' Championship. Yellow's in Sector 3 as Shelley's pulling off out of the way. Edwin is around the final turn, and he will come over the line to take home the first race in Season 9. Race day 2nd. Hawkshead will collect 3rd. Scornsey is desperately on the hunt, and it did not have any sort of chance at a late lunge, and Bacon doing enough to be able to lock down 5th place. Hawkshead and Aero Racing Design and the Alpines with a very good result. And what in the world did Shelley park? Scavney trying to get Lusky over the line there, but no, Lusky will hold off. Lancey, like I said, was able to increase that gap to Gott Palmer and will be fine with this penalty in the end. Oh, goodness. So, as per usual, we will get the race winners. Edwin at race day at Hawkshead at VTech. Man, we might have VTech in every interview session. Guy's just built for hardest chargers. And a very good start for Edwin there. But Okie Day interviews. There you go. The final results are as follows. Edwin with the win, race day 2nd, Hawkshead 3rd, Aero Racing, Impossible Bacon, Scornsey, VTech, Matt Rosie, Dusty, Scavney, Lancey, Gott Palmer, Gunner, Houdini, Sharia, Shelley the Turtle. At the final of the finishers, T-Brum, Cake, and Nikki did not go the way that they were hoping for.